In this lesson, you will learn Somali alphabets, Somali vowel sounds, Somali numbers from 0 to 19, and the most interesting part for our lesson, Somali Basic conversation. After this lesson, you will be able to read and write the Somali alphabets and the Somali numbers from 0 to 19. And also, you will be able to speak the Somali Basic conversations. ومعلنك af Somaliga Abdulrahman Abzi aan bilowno. Xarfaha af Soomaaliga. The Somali alphabets. Xarfaha waaweynka. The capital letters. Ba, ta, ja, xa, kha, da, ra, sa, sha, da, ca, ga, fa, qa, ka, la, ma, na, wa, ha, ya. Now let's repeat again and make sure you read with me. Ba, ta, ja, xa, kha, da, ra, sa, sha, da, ca, ga, fa, qa, ka, la, ma, na, wa, ha, ya. Alright, that was the Somali alphabets, حرفها waaweynka, the capital letters. And the small letters are just the same when you're reading, but writing is different. So if you know the English ABC, then you know this one as well. Now let's go to shaqal gaab iyo shaqal dheer, short and long vowels. Shaqal means vowel. Gaab means short. Iyo and. Shaqal dheer, long vowel. So shaqal is vowel, gaab is short, and then dheer is long or tall, sometimes in Somali. Iyo is and. So now we're going to learn shaqal gaab iyo shaqal dheer, short and long vowels in Somali. And the main important thing is how we sound or how we make the sound the vowels in Somali. Alright, this is very important. If you master this one, then you would be able to read and write every Somali word. Now let's read together. A, e, I, o, u. Let's repeat again the short vowel or shaqal gaab. A, e, I, o, u. Now shaqal dheer. A, e, I, o, u. One more time. O shaqal dheer. A, e, I, o, oo. And so remember, when the vowels are single, the sound is short. Like when A, when E, the sound would be A, E, O, U. And if the vowels are double, the sound is long. And that's why we call it shaqal der. For example, A, E, O, U. Alright? And this is very important to know shaqal der iyo shaqal gab so that you make Somali sounds and words. Now let's go to the next part of our class, which is lambarada af Somaliga. Eber illa toban iyo sagal. The Somali numbers from 0 to 19. Let's count numbers in Somali from 0 to 19. Keep in mind, if you master these Somali numbers, then the rest of the Somali numbers would be very, very easy for you. Now let's begin. Eber. Eber. Ko. Hal. Mid. Ko. Hal. Mid. Labo. Labo. Siddah. Siddah. Afar. Afar. Shan. Shan. Lix. Lix. Toddobo. Toddobo. Sideed. Sideed. Sagaal. Sagaal. Hi, just a quick reminder. Guys, I am doing one Somali live class for free every Tuesday on 4 p.m. Somalia time. The class is live via Zoom with a 5 to 20 members. And so if you're interested in to join, just go to this video description and text me on WhatsApp. And also, if you always struggling how to speak better or fluent Somali, I am giving you one-on-one live Somali class via Zoom. So if you want to book, also go to this video description and text me on WhatsApp. And I know some people always struggle how to read and write the Somali language. So for those people, I already made for you an online course, which is a complete beginner. So if you take that course, I'm 100% sure that you will learn how to read and write the Somali language. So just go to this video description and enroll that course. And inshallah, I'll be waiting for you there. And now let's come back to our class. طبعا 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 يكو طبعا يكو طبعا يلبو طبعا يلبو طبعا يسدح طبعا يسدح طبعا يأفر طبعا يأفر طبعا يشان طبعا يشان طبعا يلح طبعا يلح طبعا يتضبو طبعا يتضبو طبعا يسديد طبعا يسديد طبعا يسقال طبعا يسقال. And now it's very important to know the difference between ko, hal, and mid, which all mean number one in Somali. But what are the differences and when we use ko, hal, and mid? Alright, ko we use for counting, when you're counting money, things, animals, etc. So you say kow, labo, sedax, afar, shan, lix. That's for counting. If you're counting something, use kow. All right? What is hal mean in Somali? Hal also means number one in Somali, and we use that one when we're using with nouns, right? So if we're going to say one boy, one girl, one cup, one laptop, one man, etc., you have to use hal, not ko. Ko is only for counting. So you're going to say hal wheel, hal gabar, hal nin, hal nag, hal laptop, and so on. And the last one, which is mid, we use in Somali to add with like this one, that one, and so on. So if you're going to say this one, you have to say mid kan, mid kan. Kan is this in Somali actually, okay? And you say mid kan. All right, that's how we use mid in Somali. And also, it's very important to know there are different reading in Somali numbers. For example, number 3, I mentioned sidah. There's also sadah. Some people say sadah. I say sidah, and some people say sidah. Also, number 6, some people say leh with L-E-X, leh. And I say leh. It's just the same, no problem. From 11 to 19, and also from 20 to 29, 30 to 39, you can say in 2 different ways. The first way is the way I used, from first to last. I said 10 and 1, toban iyo kow, toban iyo labo, toban iyo sedax, toban iyo afar. So some people read the last and the first. So they say 2 and 1, like 1 and 10, and then 2 and 10. So they say like kow iyo toban, labo iyo toban, sedax iyo toban. And those are same, and no problem if you use one of those. I just use this way. toban iyo kow, toban iyo labo, toban iyo sedax, toban iyo afar, and etc. And now let's go to the most interesting part of our class, which is wada sheekaysi af Somali as ah. Basic Somali conversations. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum salam. See tahay? Waan fiicanahay. See tahay? Fiican. Magacaa? Magacayga waa Cabdiraxmaan. Magacaa? Magacayga waa Ismaaciil. Barasho wanaagsan Isma. Barasho la mid ah Abdi. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum salam. See tahay? Waan fiicanahay. See tahay? Fiican. Magacaa? Magacayga waa Cabdiraxmaan. Magacaa? Magacayga waa Ismaaciil. Barasho wanaagsan Isma. Barasho la mid ah Abdi. Assalamu alaikum. See tahay? Fiican. Magacayga waa Cabdiraxmaan. Magacaa? Barasho wanaagsan Isma. In the last lesson, we learned the Somali alphabets, Somali sounds, Somali numbers from 0 to 19, the Somali Basic conversation. And in this lesson, we are going to learn the Somali Basic conversation part 2 and the general idea of writing and reading the Somali language. Waa macalinka af Soomaaliga Cabdiraxmaan Abzi aan bilowno. Abdi, subax wanaagsan. Ismaaciil, subax la mid ah. See tahay walaal? Fiican. Adigane? Waa nabad, alxamdulillaah. Mahadsanid Isma. Mahadsanid Abdi. Nabadgelyo. Bye bye. Abdi, subax wanaagsan. Ismaaciil, subax la mid ah. See tahay walaal? Fiican. Adigane? ونبض الحمد لله. mahadsanid isma. mahadsanid cabdi. nabadgelyo. باي باي. عبدي صباح وناكسن. عبدي صباح وناكسن. عبدي صباح وناكسن. إسماعيل صباح لمده. إسماعيل صباح لمده. إسماعيل صباح لمده. ساتهاي ولال. ساتهاي ولال. ساتهاي ولال. فيعن أديجنه. فيعن أديجنه. فيعن أديجنه. ونبض الحمد لله. ونبض الحمد لله. ونبض الحمد لله. mahadsanid isma. mahadsanid isma. mahadsanid isma. mahadsanid cabdi. mahadsanid cabdi. mahadsanid cabdi. nabadgelyo. 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 باي باي. باي باي. باي باي. عبدي صباح وناكسن. ساتهاي ولال. ونبض الحمد لله. mahadsanid cabdi. باي باي. fahamka guud ee qoraalka iyo akhriska af Soomaaliga. Hadda waxaan isku dayaynaa inaan akhrino sidoo kale qorno af Soomaaliga. ba plus sa. bas. ba plus la. baal. bu plus ga. buug. ti plus na. tin. ti plus sha. tiish. to plus sha. toosh. ja plus ba. jab. je plus ba. jeeb. xa plus la. xal. xee plus ba. Heb. Now let's repeat again only the words. Please read with me. Bus. Bus. Bal. Bal. Bog. Bog. Tish. Tish. Tosh. Tosh. Jab. 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 Hal. Hal. Heb. Heb. hadda jooji cashirka lixda eray oo hoose aqri ee codkaaga soo geli WhatsApp groupkeena. Now, pause the video and read these 6 words and record your voice note on our WhatsApp group. And if you want to join our WhatsApp group, please check the first pinned comment in this video. And also you can check the community tab on my channel. Now pause the video. I'm waiting you. Record all these 6 words and send to the group as voice note. Do it now. I'm waiting for you. Pause the lesson. All right, I hope you did a very good job. Now let me read. The first one is Don. Don. Dah. 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 Rob. Rob. Roti. Roti. Rio. Rio. All right, I hope you did an amazing job and you did everything in an excellent way. And now, ila qor erayadan. Boogaaga iyo qalinkaaga qaado. Take your book and your pen and write with me these words. Dal. 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 Rag. 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 Dumar. 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 Raadi. 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 Den. 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 Rinji. 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 Dan. 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 Ra. 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 Dul. 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 Run. 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 I hope you write all of them in a correct way. And now I'm going to show you all of those words on the screen. So please check them and recorrect if you have some mistakes already. In the last lesson, we learned the basic Somali conversation and the general idea of writing and reading the Somali language. And in this lesson, you will learn vocabulary about things in the house. And also, you will learn the definite articles, plurals, and possessive pronouns. For example, bug, buga, the book. Bug, bugag, books. Bug, bugayga, my book. And so many others. ومعلنك أف Somaliga, Abdurrahman Abzi, aan bilowno. Erayo plus macno plus qodob, which means words plus meaning plus definite article. So in Somali language, the definite articles are very, very important when you're making a sentence. Or maybe you're going to say my book, my table, my chair, etc. Like when you're going to use possessives in Somali, it's very important to use definite articles before you say my. All right, let's start. So make sure you read with me. Kursi. Kursiga. Kursi. Kursiga. Miis. Miiska. Miis. Miiska. Sariir. Sariirta. Sariir. Sariirta. Armaajo. Armaajada. Armaajo. Armaajada. Fadhi. Fadhiga. Fadhi. Fadhiga. Mobile. Mobilka. Mobile. Mobilka. Lacag. Lacagta. Lacag. Lacagta. Now let's repeat one more time. I am going to say the words. You're going to say the definite articles. For example, if I say kursi, you will say kursiga. Okay? Let's do it together. Kursi. Miis. Sariir. Armaajo. Fadhi. Mobile. Lacag. That was very good. Kursiga, miiska, sariirta, armaajada, fadhiga, mobilka, and lacagta. Very nice. Now, kan or kani wa and tan or tani wa. That means in Somali, this is. So for the masculine nouns, you use kani or kan, and for the feminine nouns, you use tani or tan. So lab means male or masculine. Dadig means female or feminine. So kani, people in northern Somalia use that most of the time, and kan people in southern Somalia use that. Same as tani and tan. Just same meaning, but different regions, they use different ways. So in Mogadishu, we just use the shortened way, which is kan and tan. All right, now let's begin and read with me. Kursi. Kan wa kursi. Kursi. Kan wa kursi. Miis. Kan wa miis. Miis. Kan wa miis. Sarir. Tan wa sarir. Sarir. Tan wa sarir. Armajo. Tan wa armajo. Armajo. Tan wa armajo. Fadi. Kan wa fadi. Fadi. Kan wa fadi. Mobile. Kan wa mobile. Mobile. Kan wa mobile. Lacag. Tan wa lacag. Lacag. Tan wa lacag. Now let's learn keli iyo wadar, singular and plural in Somali. In Somali language, we use most of the time the singular nouns because in Somali language, if you use number, then you don't need to mention the plural noun. For example, in English, if you say 5 chairs, if you use a number which is 5 and the noun is still plural, chairs. But in Somali, if you use number, you just need to use the singular noun. For example, you could say 5 chair, 5 book, something like that. That's how in Somali language is. But it's very good to know the plural nouns because sometimes the things cannot be specific, so you have to use the plural noun. Now let's read together. Kursi. Kuras. Kursi. Kuras. Miis. Mises. Miis. Mises. Sarir. Sariro. Sarir. Sariro. Armajo. Armajoyin. Armajo. Armajoyin. Fadi. Fadio. Fadi. Fadio. Mobile. Mobelo. Mobile. Mobelo. Lacag. Lacag. So lacag singular and plural noun are just the same. So lacag is lacag in singular or in plural. Now let's go to lahansho, which means in Somali possessives. So in Somali language, possessives has so many confusing rules. But for this lesson, we're going to learn rule for my masculine and feminine nouns only. All right, now let's read together. And the main rule is add the masculine nouns, definite article, then add ya, ga at the end. And for feminine nouns, you just need to add the definite article first, then ya, da, at the end. For example, kursi is a masculine noun. Add the definite article, which is ga. That is kursi ga plus ya, ga at the end. That will be kursigayga, my chair. And sarir is a feminine noun, so add definite article, that is sarirta, and add ya-ga at the end, sarirtayda. Alright? So mis, it's miska, ya-ga-a, that's my, so miskayga. Armajo, add definite article, armajada, then my, armajadayda. Fadi, definite article, fadiga, my, fadigayga. Mobile, definite article, mobilka, my, mobilkayga. Okay? Then la'ag, definite article, la'agta, plus ya-ga-a, then la'agtayda. That's how the rule is. So when it's masculine, ya-ga at the end, kursigayga. When it's feminine, ya-da at the end, la'agtayda. Now let's read together, and I hope you understand the rule. Kursi, kursiga, kursigayga. Kursi, kursiga, kursigayga. Miis, miiska, miiskayga. Miis, miiska, miiskayga. Sarir, sarirta, sarirtayda. Sarir, sarirta, sarirtayda. Armajo, armajada, armajadayda. Armajo, armajada, armajadayda. Fadi, fadiga, fadigayga. Fadi, fadiga, fadigayga. Mobile, mobilka, mobilkayga. Mobile, mobilka, mobilkayga. La'ag, la'agta, la'agtayda. La'ag, la'agta, la'agtayda. And now let's go to the last part for our class, lahaansho plus tusaale, possessives plus examples. So you'll have 3 questions as an exercise to translate into Somali. So now let's understand this, and after that you will have to solve the exercises and send to our WhatsApp group with your voice notes. And if you didn't join our WhatsApp group yet, you can find the link on my YouTube's community tab, or maybe you can go to my TikTok account, then my profile bio you can find there as well. So the idea for this lesson is to say lahaansho, that means a noun with my, then we use with a sentence. For example, the first one, kursigayga waa jaban yahay. My chair is broken. Wa means is, jaban yahay means broken. So jaban, broken, yahay is for masculine nouns. If it's feminine, like sarir, sarirtayda waa jaban tahay. Sometimes you can say way for feminine, but we just write in the spoken Somali. We're not writing the textbook Somali. That's why I used wa for everything. Okay? So kursigayga waa jaban yahay, and then miiskayga waa weyn yahay. Weyn is big, weyn yahay is for masculine. And then armajadayda waa weyn tahay. My shelf is big, so weyn tahay is for feminine, tahay. Now you have exercise translate into Somali. The first one is my couch is big, my mobile is broken, and my money is a lot. A lot means badan. I just showed you with this file. So do this exercise and share with us on our WhatsApp Pro Somali group with your voice notes so that we see you are pronouncing in the right way. In the last lesson, we learned vocabulary about things in the house. And in this lesson, I am going to teach you very useful phrases and verbs with short sentences in Somali, like can, can, qad, kursiga qad, and so many others. ومعلنك أف صوماليغا عبد الرحمن أبزي aan bilowno. Ila aqri weerahan ee faham dhammaantood. So read with me all these sentences and understand all of them. Can, see, isi, ho, deep, deep, qad, fadhiiso, istaag, halkan, halkaas, daar, demi. Now, a very good point to know is the difference between see and deep in Somali. So, see and deep means give in Somali. So, when you say isi or deep, that means give me, but it's not the same. So, we use see or maybe isi wa wada qaadana. That means I will take it directly. So, that means no return. So, if I say isi mobilka, that means give me the mobile, maybe the mobile I own, so I will never return to you. I'm going to take it directly. So isi we use to take something directly, no return. And what about edib? Edib means waqadana lakin wasu'lina. That means I will take it, but I will return to you. For example, I can say to you, edib mobile kaga, qof ayan ka wacaya. Give me your mobile, I'm going to call somebody. That means it's not my mobile, so I'm going to give you back. So for that case, you cannot say to the person, isi mobilka, because you don't own the mobile. So you have to say, edib, I'm going to return. All right? So that's the main difference. Isi, I'm going to take it or return. Edib, maybe the thing is not mine, so I'm going to give you back. There's return. All right, now let's repeat one more time and please read with me while I'm reading. Can, see, isi, ho, deep, edib, qad, fadhiiso, istaag, halkan, halkaas, daar, demi. All right, that was very good. Before we go to the next section of our class, you need to pause the lesson and practice that one Also, record your voice note on the WhatsApp Baro Somali, which is the public one. Now you can do it. And so, if you didn't join the group yet, you can go to my YouTube community tab and join right now. Now let's go to the next section of our class, which is Ila aqri weerahan ee faham dhammaantood. Read with me all of these phrases or sentences and understand all of them. Kursiga keen. Kursiga keen. Kursiga ii keen. Kursiga ii keen. Isii mobilka. Isii mobilka. Qaad miiska. Qaad miiska. Fadhiiso halkaan. Fadhiiso halkaan. Istaag halkaas. Istaag halkaas. Nalka daar. Nalka daar. Nalka demi. Nalka demi. So what we did is that it's very easy. We just used the words we learned in the previous lesson, lesson 3, Somali language course, and the phrases we learned right now. For example, we just learned chair in Somali, which is kursi. So the chair was kursiga. So we just did kursiga can, or maybe can kursiga. Both ways are correct. That means bring the chair. So you could say in Somali also the chair bring, or bring the chair. Same way. So you can say kursiga can or can kursiga. And the other one is that kursiga I can. So I is making me, and so that's, you could say kursiga I can. You could also say I can kursiga, like bring me the chair, or maybe the chair bring me. Both ways are correct in Somali. So the third sentence we use is that isi mobilka. That I now is making give, and that I now is making me see, and then mobilka. So isi mobilka. So in this case, we can't say isi mobilka. It's just I. Isi mobilka. So the fourth one is deep mobilka. Deep was to give, and see was to give also. But the difference is that if I say you isi mobilka, that means maybe it's my phone. Give me the phone. I'm not going to return it to you back because maybe that's my phone or something else. Maybe I'm going to buy. But deep is just maybe give me, but it's not mine. I'm going to give you back. So yeah, isi and deep. That's how the difference is. Give me and give me, but isi is something maybe you have or you own. Deep, you just take in and then you're going to return it back. Okay, the other one is qaad miiska. Miiska, the table. Qaad is just to take. Qaad miiska. You could also say miiska qaad. The other one is fadhiiso halkaan. Halkaan means here. So you could say fadhiiso halkaan, or maybe halkaan fadhiiso. Both ways are correct. And fadhiiso means sit, or to sit down. If you remember, couch was fadi, and this is fadhiiso. And the other one is istaag halkaas. Halkaas means there, and istaag is just to stand. So halkaas istaag or istaag halkaas. Both ways are correct. The other one is nalka daar. Daar means to turn on. You could use for the lights, for the TV, for the washing machine, everything you just turn on, we use in Somali daar. Right? So nalka daar, or maybe daar nalka. And the last one is nalka demi. Demi is turn off. Everything you're going to turn off. Maybe even the mobile, when you're going to shut down or to switch off, we just use demi. Everything, the laptop, the computers. So you could say maybe computer ka demi, or TV ka demi, or dalada demi, same as that. So nalka demi or demi nalka. And now let's go to the next section of our class, which is baro weerahan. Learn these phrases. Now we're going to use real phrases, the words and the phrases we learned in earlier. So let's read together. Abdi, kan boga. Abdi, kan boga. Mobilkayga isii walaal. Mobilkayga isii walaal. Ho walaal. Ho walaal. Walaal, lacag ma isiin kartaa? walaal lacag ma siin kartaa haa walaal mobilkaaga ma ii dhiibi kartaa haa walaal hoo miiska ma ila qaadi kartaa maya iga raali noqo halkaan fadhiiso haye mahadsanid halkaas ha istaagin nalka ma daari kartaa nalka dami walaal Alright, this is very useful actually when you're speaking in Somali. So you could also say Ken boga Abdi or maybe Abdi Ken boga. That's just the same. Mobile keiga isi walal. So mobile is a mobile. Eiga at the end is making my. Mobile ka, the mobile. Then ya ga at the end is making my. So mobile keiga, my mobile. So mobile keiga isi walal. That means give me my mobile. So I cannot say mobile keiga ii dhiib walaal because you own the mobile. So you should say mobile keiga isi walaal. And the ho walal, ho is just meant in Somali here. Here it is. So it's still the thing is in your hand. Like this thing, this is the remote control. So you said me remote KC, remote control, we just say remote KC. I'm going to say you ho. So if the person says ho, that means it's on their hand. So you have to take that thing. They wait in you. Ho. You have to look very quickly and then, oh, mahadsanid. Like that. So ho is here. Or here it is. And then walaal lacag ma isiin kartaa. So in this case, it means, can you give me money without no return? Isi. Okay. Ha walaal, mobilkaaga ma ii dhiibi kartaa. Mobile ka is the mobile. Ga is making your. So mobile ka means the mobile. Ga is making your. Mobile kaaga, your mobile. Then ma ii dhiibi kartaa, can you give me? That ma is question word. So you cannot skip that ma because it's question word. And karta means can. So it's like your mobile, question word, me, give, then can. Karta is can, especially for you. Mobile kaaga ma ii dhiibi kartaa, ha walaal, ho. Alright? Miiska ma ila qaadi kartaa. So ila is now making with. Miiska ma ila qaadi kartaa, can you take with me? That with is in Somali language la or ila. Maya iga raali noqo. Iga raali noqo in Somali means sorry or excuse me, both ways. So we use same thing. So you could say iga raali noqo. Okay, and the other one is halkan fadhiiso. We just mentioned that earlier. Halkan here, fadhiiso sit. Haye, mahadsanid. Mahadsanid is thank you or thanks. We know that. And then halkaas ha istaagin. In at the end makes in Somali language don't. So for this week's TikTok video, I also made a video about that. Like eat, ha unin, don't eat. Ab, drink, ha abin, don't drink. Like maybe firi, to look, ha firinin, don't look. Or maybe hadal, speak, ha hadlin, don't speak. So in Somali language, if you add in at the end, that means don't. And you need to use ha as question word or maybe negative word. Alright? So halkaas ha istaagin, don't stand there. Nalka ma daari kartaa walaal, and then nalka dami walaal. Alright, now we go into the waxqabad, which means activity or assignment. And so I'm going to give you 6 activity or 6 assignments for this class, which will be English, and you're going to translate into Somali. So Af Somali utarjum, which means translate into Somali. The first question says you, give me money. The second, give me the mobile. That means you will return. So you have to use isi or idib. You know what to use. So the third one is, can you sit here? And the fourth one is, no, I'm busy. The fifth one is, thank you. And the last one is, you're welcome. So you're going to write all these assignment or all these tasks as Somali language. Then you're going to share your note with your voice note on our Baro Somali public group. In the last lesson, we learned useful phrases and verbs with short sentences in Somali. And in this lesson, you will learn vocabulary about things in the house, part 2, with possessive pronouns, lesson 1. Like Hafiz, Hafizka, Hafizkayga, and so many others. ومعلنك Af Somaliga, Abdurrahman Abzi, aan bilowno. Baro erayada guriga qaybta labaad. Learn vocabulary in the house, part 2. Please read with me. daaqad, daaqad, daaqad. الباب, الباب, الباب. نل, نل, نل. ميارد, ميارد, ميارد. فيلو, فيلو, فيلو. جرنجرو, جرنجرو, جرنجرو. كورونتو, كورونتو, كورونتو. توبو, توبو. قل, قل, قل. قolka fadhiga, qolka fadhiga, qolka fadhiga. qolka cuntada, qolka cuntada, qolka cuntada. qolka jiifka, qolka jiifka, qolka jiifka. musqul, musqul, musqul. jiko, 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 jiko. حفيز, حفيز, حفيز. Alright, that was very good. Now we learned 15 Somali words vocabulary in the house. So if you're going to get flashcards about these vocabulary things in the house in Somali language, now you can check in this video description and get from my website. Thanks. Now let's go to the next section of our class, which is Baro ereyada iyo qodobada. Learn the words and definite articles. So in Somali language, these definite articles are very useful. If you're going to say my book or my office, you have to first add the definite article. Then you might add my. For example, daaqad is window. Then if you're going to say my window, you have to add definite article first. Without that, you cannot say my in Somali. So daaqada will be the window. Then you can add ya da for female nouns. We're going to learn all those, no problem. We're just making one example. Then it will be daaqadayda. So that means you cannot skip the definite articles to make my or to use in real Somali sentences. So this is very useful and you have to learn it very carefully. Now let's read together the words with the definite articles. daaqad, daaqada, albaab, albaabka, irid, irida, nal, nalka, miyaarad, miyaaradda, fiilo, fiilada, jaranjaro, jaranjarada, koronto, korontada, tubo, tubada, qol, qolka, xafiis, xafiiska. So yeah, those are the words with definite articles. So you might ask yourself, how do I know whether it is da or ka, like daaqada, albaabka, irida, nalka, miyaaradda, fiilada? How do I know if I add da or ka or ga or a, something like that? So there's a rule, basically. There's a rule you can know every sentence or every word, but that is kind of complex or frustration. So what I always recommend to my students is that you just memorize how it is. For example, when we learn in a new language, sometimes we memorize maybe verbs, new words, etc. So I recommend you to memorize how it is, because if you try to understand the rules, it's so confusing. So it says, if the vowel I, if the word ends vowel I, then add ga, like darbiga, ilmiga, etc. And if it ends consonant and that word is masculine, you can add ka, like bog, like qalin, qalinka, like mis, miska. If it's feminine, you have to add ta. So there are so many rules. So what I recommend to you is that you have to learn and memorize and study how it is. So you learn maybe 2 or 3 words, learn those 3 words with definite articles, and also learn whether they are masculine or feminine noun. And one of the questions I got most of the time is that, how do I know if the Somali word is masculine noun or feminine noun? Well, there's no rule for that as well. You have to study and memorize, because now I'm from Somalia and I lived my whole life in Somalia. So if I maybe go to America or some new country, I didn't know whether Alex is a man or woman. So I have to learn and understand those things. Like that, you have to learn and study if the Somali word is masculine or feminine. Same as you have to understand and memorize and study the definite article in Somali, whether it is daaqad, daaqada, whether it is ka, like albaab, albaabka, whether it is ta, like sarir, sarirta. I recommend to you to memorize as you are learning the word. For example, you learn in Somali language a word which is called nal. Learn that word with definite article, nalka. Also learn that word whether it's masculine or feminine. So nal is masculine noun. Then you're going to say maybe kani wa nal. This is a lamp or this is a light, etc. So that's what I recommend to you always. And please do not ask me again, how do I know whether it's masculine or feminine, or how do I know these different articles? Don't be lazy, study very well. Now let's read together one more time. daaqad, daaqada. albaab, albaabka. nal, nalka. miyaarad, miyaaradda. fiilo, fiilada. jaranjaro, jaranjarada. koronto, korontada. tubo, tubada. qol, qolka. xafiis, xafiiska. Now let's go to the next section of our class, which is baro erayadaas lab iyo dhadig. Learn those words masculine and feminine. Note, lab means male or masculine. Dhadig means female or feminine. Then we're going to say if the word is masculine, lab. If the word is feminine, dhadig. Because in Somali language, all the words, people names, things, animal names have to be masculine or feminine noun so that you can use in a sentence, or maybe you can use with my, your, possessive pronouns, etc. So they have to be, or they should be, masculine noun, lab, or feminine noun, dhadig. Okay, now we're going to learn those 10 words, whether they are masculine, lab, or feminine. Now let's read together. daaqad, dhadig. Tani waa daaqad. So the I, or the vowel I, tani, it's very useful in northern Somalia. In southern Somalia, like Mogadishu and other regions, like the place I'm from, we just skip that I. So we just say tanwa or kanwa. If you watch my TikTok videos, I make every week some kind of new phrases or vocabularies in Somali. And then I start always kanwa, like this is tanwa. And then people in northern, they always come into the comment section and they say, hey, don't say kan, say kani. Don't say tan, say tani. So that's kind of dialect in southern. So we just use kan, tan. We skip the I. So you can add the I or you can skip. That's just an optional. When you say ken or kani, this is for masculine, lab. When you say tan or tani, this is for feminine or dhadig. For example, Abdi, kan wa Abdi. Asho, tan wa Asho. And so the other things or the other thing names. Albab, lab, kan wa albab. Nal, lab, kan wa nal. Miyarad, dhadig. Tan wa miyarad. So this word miyarad, we also can say murayad. So it depends whether the dialect. So we say most of the time miyarad, and if I heard murayad, that's also fine. Okay, the next one. Filo, dhadig. Tan wa filo. Jaranjaro, dhadig. Tan wa jaranjaro. Koronto, koronto, dhadig. Tan wa koronto. Tubo, dhadig. Tan wa tubo. Qol, lab, kan wa qol. Xafiis, lab, kan wa xafiis. Alright, that was how we can know whether the word is lab or dhadig, masculine or feminine. So if you checked the Somali language course lesson 2 or 3, I'm not sure about that, we learned vocabulary about things in the house, part 1. So most of those vocabularies were lab or masculine. So now in this lesson, most of them are feminine. We just have 2 masculine nouns, qol and hafiz. Others, and also null. The rest of it are feminine or dhadig. Now let's go to the next section of our class, which is baro lahaansho. Learn the possessives. Especially we're going to learn ya ga or ya da, which we use in Somali, my. Note, to use my in Somali language, you need to add at the end of the vocabulary of the word ya ga for masculine nouns. And for the feminine nouns, you have to add ya da at the end of the feminine nouns. For example, daqad, what was the window? It was daqada. So we have to add definite article first, then ya da if it's feminine. Daqada, then daqadayda. Okay? And number 2 is albab, albab ka, right? Albab kayga. Number 3 is nal, nalka, nalkayga. And also albab we can say irid, which is feminine noun, would be irida, iridayda. Number 4 is miyarad, then miyarada, miyaradayda. 5 is filo, filada, filadayda. And 6 is jaranjaro, jaranjarada, jaranjaradayda. And then 7 is koronto, korontada, korontadayda. So in Somali language, if the word ends with vowel O, you have to change that O to A so that the Somali pronunciation looks good. For example, koronto, you're going to say the electricity, korontada, not korontoda, korontada. So korontadayda. And then 8, tobo, you're going to say tubada, then tubadayda. Then 9, qol, qolka, then qolkayga. Hafiz, hafizka, hafizkayga. That's how you make my in Somali language. So for lab or masculine nouns, add ya ga. For feminine or dhadig, add ya da. But before you add, you have to add that word, definite article. Daqad, you cannot say daqad ayga. You have to add first definite article, daqada, then add. If it's feminine, ya da, daqadayda. For example, nal is masculine noun, nalka, then add ya ga, nalkayga. So this is very helpful and very useful. You have to understand very well and take your note. Then also if you have a question, you can always ask me on our WhatsApp public Baro Somali group. And if you're not on the group, you can check on this video description and try today. Now let's go to the next section of our class, which is how we can use your in Somali language. So you have to add a ga for masculine nouns or lab, and you have to add a da for feminine nouns or dhadig. And before that, you have to add the definite article. For example, daqad, add a definite article, daqada. Then you could say daqadada, your window. Albab, the definite article is albabka, then your aga for lab or masculine. Albabkaga. Nal, nalkaga. Tubo, tubadada. Hafiz, hafizkaga. So yeah, that's kind of very easy. Your, when you're using in Somali, add a ga for masculine, a da for feminine. Daqad, daqada, daqadada. Nal, nalka, nalkaga. Now let's go to the next section of our class, which is using your plural, which we mean in Somali, or we use ina. So your, I mean for plural, like more than one person. For example, if I say you are a good student, then what about if you are many? You are good students. That's what we're talking about, your. So we say in Somali, ina. And note, the masculine and feminine nouns are same for ina. We don't separate masculine and feminine because now it's plural, group of people. So I can say daqada, then add ina, daqadina. For this case, you have to drop the last vowel of the definite article. For example, daqada. That a you drop and you change ina, daqadina. Albabka, drop the a, albabkina. Nalka, drop the a, nalkina. Miyarada, drop the a, miyaradina. Filo, filada, then drop the a, filadina. Then jaranjaro, jaranjarada, drop the a, jaranjaradina. So that's kind of easy. Daqadina, albabkina, nalkina, miyaradina, filadina, jaranjaradina. Now let's go to the next section, which is ena. Ena, we mean our in Somali. So you can use both of them, ena, because it's plural. That means our, something we own. So let's say daqada, then we say daqadena. Same way as ina, your, many people, you have to drop the last vowel of the different article. If it was daqada, drop the a, say daqadena, our. Albabka, albabkena. Nalka, nalkena. Miyarada, miyaradena. Fiilada, fiiladena. Jaranjarada, jaranjaradena. And now let's go to the next section of our class, which is oda, which we mean in Somali, their. So we say in Somali language, their, oda. So if it's daqada, drop the vowel a, daqadoda. Albabka, albabkoda. Nalka, nalkoda. Miyarada, miyaradoda. Fiilada, fiiladooda. Jaranjarada, jaranjaradoda. Now let's go to the next section, which is Isa. Isa, we mean his. So to say his in Somali, you should say Isa. And same as that, we have to drop the last vowel, which is like daqada, then we have to say daqadisa. What about albabka? Albabkisa. Nalka? Nalkisa. Miyarada? Miyaradisa. Fiilada? Fiiladisa. Jaranjarada? Jaranjaradiisa. And let's see the next section, which is Eda. Eda means her in Somali. When you're going to say her book or her pen in Somali, we should say Eda. So we need to say the word and the different article, then we drop the last vowel. Daqada, daqadeeda. Albabka, albabkeeda. Nalka, nalkeeda. Miyarada, miyaradeeda. Fiilada, fiiladeeda. Jaranjarada, jaranjaradeeda. And now let's go to the last section of our class, which is waxqabad, which means activity or assignment. So I'm going to give you two words. You're going to attach all of them, the Somali possessives. The first one is qol, the second one is hafiz. First, make sure to add the definite article, hafizka, qolka. Then you're going to say my, your plural, their, our, his, her. For example, hafiz, hafizka. Then you're going to say my office, hafizkega. Then your, hafizkaga. Your plural, hafizkina. Then their, hafizkoda. Then our, hafizkena. Then his, hafizkisa. Then her, hafizkeda. You can maybe use a masculine noun or people name when you're using their two people names. For example, Abdi iyo Hassan hafizkoda. Abdi and Hassan is office or their office. Then maybe for his, you can use a name. Maybe your name. My name Abdurrahman hafizkisa. Maybe if it's she or her, Aisha hafizkeda. You can use your name or maybe your sister's name if you are a boy. All right, you are going to do that assignment and you're going to send on our WhatsApp group. And after that, I'm going to see and check your answers. Alhamdulillah, we done module 1 for the course. And in this lesson, we are going to learn useful Somali sentences related to things in the house and many more. So far, we did module 1 from lesson 1 to lesson 5. And so if you're new here, make sure you start from module 1 and watch all the other lessons. ومعلنك Af Somaliga, Abdurrahman Abzi, I'm Bilono. Alright, let's begin. In the first section of our class, we're going to learn so many useful phrases and questions. So please make sure you read with me so that you can get the best way to practice. Can. 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 Iken. 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 Ma. Ma. So ma is for question word. It's not even a word. So sometimes we say ma and sometimes we say ma. We're going to explain that later. So ma is a only question word. It's not even making any meaning. The next is karta. Karta. Karta is can you when you're asking a question. So we're going to learn when we're going to say I can. The next one is عادي. 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 The next one is وعادي. 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 maxaa ku dhacay. maxaa ku dhacay. maxaa ku dhacay. maxaa ku dhacay miiska. maxaa ku dhacay miiska. maxaa ku dhacay miiska. maxaa kugu dhacay. maxaa kugu dhacay. maxaa kugu dhacay. jaban. jaban. miiska wuu jaban yahay. miiska wuu jaban yahay. miiska wuu jaban yahay. qasaaladda way jaban tahay. qasaaladda way jaban tahay. qasaaladda way jaban tahay. Alright, so we use can in Somali to say bring. So you can say, we learned so many words before, so you can say can kursiga, can miiska, can boga, can mobilka, can laptopka, can computerka, can saacada, and so many others. So you can use can to say bring in Somali. And in Somali language, you can just say always bring the phone, bring the cup, bring the watch. In Somali language, it's like that. So you don't need always to ask a question as question. Like, I mean, you don't need always to say, can you bring me the cab? Can you bring me the mobile? You don't need that in Somali. It's not even rude. You can just order people or command. So you say, can mobilka, can qalinka, can lacagta, yeah? And maybe if the people are strangers, so you should use as question word. Mobilka ma keeni karta, or mobilka ma ii keeni karta. But usually, most of the time, we just say the order. That's fine in Somali. It's not even a bad language, or it's not even informal. So you can always say mobilka ken, lacagta ken. Yeah, so that's just fine in Somali. So e can means bring me. That e is making me. Can is bring. So you can say me e can. So you can call your sister or your little brother Abdi or Ahmed. Mobilki e can. Let's bring me the phone. You can always say bring me my phone, but in Somali we just say the word with different article. Mobilkayga e can. That's also fine. So you don't need to ask your family or people you know. Mobilkayga ma ii keeni kartaa? Yeah, so you don't need, or it's not always have to say like that. So you can just tell them. That's fine in Somali. So the next one, ma, is a question word. We say like, can you bring me? Or maybe, do you, or does Abdi. All those we start with question word ma, even though we start the sentence with the noun first. For example, if you're going to say, can you bring me the mobile? Start with the mobile. Mobilka, then question word ma, then me, e, then keeni kartaa. If you're going to use a question, the verb we add usually e at the end. So, mobilka ma ii keeni kartaa. Not mobilka ma keen kartaa. Keeni kartaa. Can is bring, add I at the end. Ma ii keeni kartaa. Okay, so like for example, you can say ab is drink, abi. Biyo ma abi kartaa. Can you drink water? Yeah. Un in Somali is eat. So you can say like bariis or anjero. Anjero ma cuni kartaa. Like that. So we add I, vowel I at the end of the verbs when we make a question. And it's also very good to start with the noun instead of question word. if you start like ma, people will kind of confuse. So it's good to start with the noun. So you can say, for example, if you're going to say in Somali, can you bring me like my laptop? Start with my laptop in Somali. Laptop kayga, then question word ma, then me, e, then bring, keni, then can you, which is karta. So laptop kayga ma ii keni karta. So if you're going to answer I can, you need to drop the T, kara. So you can say wa ku keni kara, I can bring to you. Or ha wan ku keni kara for long sentence. But in Somali, we always use the shortened ways. So you can just say ha, or you can just say wan ku keni kara, something like that. Or you can just say haye. The next one is adi. Adi in Somali means normal. We also use as okay. So maybe someone is late, so they might say you, sorry, well, like I'm late, waan soo dahay. You can just say caadi waaye or waa caadi. It's fine. So both ways are useful. Waa caadi, maybe starting with wa is useful in northern, and in southern we use waaye. Yeah, like we say caadi waaye and waa caadi, same. The next one is maxaa ku dhacay. Maxaa in Somali means what. Yeah, ku dhacay is happened to. So maxaa ku dhacay. So you can say maxaa ku dhacay wiilka. What happened to the boy or to the son. Yeah. Maxaa ku dhacay ninka. What happened to the man. Maxaa ku dhacay maybe let's say mobileka or mobilekaaga. What happened to your mobile or to your phone. Yeah. Then we used as a sentence or as an example miiska. Maxaa ku dhacay miiska. Then maxaa kugu dhacay is what happened to you. That go is making you. Maxaa kugu dhacay. Yeah. Maxaa kugu dhacay Abdi. What happened to you Abdi. Like that. The next one is jaban. Jaban is break. I think we did one lesson, this one. So this will be the second time we do it in a class. Jaban. So we use yahay at the end for masculine nouns or lab, tahay at the end for feminine nouns. And if you're new here, maybe you might ask, how do I know the masculine and feminine nouns? You just need to learn Somali language. So there's no very good tip to learn those things. So you just need to go back and learn lesson 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You'll have a very good idea about that. So as an example, we used miiska wuu jaban yahay and qasaalada way jaban tahay. Miis in Somali waa lab or masculine noun. So miiska wuu jaban yahay and qasaalad waa dhadig. Qasaalada way jaban tahay. So you can say woo for masculine, way for feminine. But in Somali language, we always go with wa, since the ending verb also expresses whether it's masculine or feminine noun. Like miiska waa jaban yahay is also acceptable, and qasaalada waa jaban tahay is also acceptable. Yeah, that's also fine. All right, now let's go to the next section of our class, which is baro weerahan. Learn these sentences or learn these phrases. So we're going to make some sentences, the just phrases or words we just learned now. So let's start with the first one. Walaal kursiga ma ii keeni kartaa. Ha walaal waa caadi. So walaal in Somali means brother or sister. You can just say to anyone. It's just fine. We learned kursi. So kursiga, the chair. Ma ii keeni kartaa. Ma is question word. E is me. Keeni kartaa. That I shows question. Walaal kursiga ma ii keeni kartaa. Ha walaal waa caadi. So this question you can also ask as a Somali, maybe proper or useful Somali. Without a question, you can just order them. So yeah, instead of asking the question as walaal kursiga ma ii keeni kartaa, you can just go with as maybe ordering or just commanding in Somali. So you can say, instead of walaal, you can just go with a name, or maybe just go with walaal kursiga ken, walaal kursiga ii ken, or walaal kursiga ii ken. Or maybe name, Aisha kursiga ken, Hawa kursiga ken, something like that. So that's very useful in Somali. And the answer, it could be only haye, or maybe haye, or haye walaal, or haye Abdi, something like that. So the next one is aad iyo aad ayaad u mahadsan tahay. That's like thank you so much or thank you very much. In Somali, we use add you add. Add is like very or so. Add you add, we use very and so and so. I know it's not useful in English, but in Somali it's very useful. And also this add you add is useful when someone in Somali is telling you like Somali story, or they telling you something, or maybe it's on call, or maybe it's on face to face. You should say in Somali language, haye, sah, that's correct. Adi ad. Yeah, you just say like that in Somali when people telling you a story. So it's also useful in that way. So maybe if I'm telling you something, maanta waxaan aaday halkaas, I just go blah blah blah. You just not be silent the whole time in Somali language. You have to say me haye, sax waaye, haye, aad iyo aad, so that you show me you are with me. Yeah, that's very useful in Somali. So you might hear people saying aad iyo aad. Yeah, so that's also useful. So aad iyo aad ayaad u mahadsan tahay. This should be long. You can just say aad plus ayaad. Aad iyo aad u mahadsan tahay, like that. The next is adiga ayaa mudan walaal. You can just do shortened way. Adiga ayaa, adiga plus ayaa. You can say adaa mudan walaal, or just adaa mudan, or adaa mudan with people's name. Adaa mudan Abdi. The next is Abdi miiska maxaa ku dhacay. Abdi miiska maxaa ku dhacay. Start with the sentence maybe. Miiska maxaa ku dhacay Abdi. Fine. Ma ogi walaal. So ma is question word, also where we use when we make a negative sentence. Ogi. Og in Somali language means know, to know something. Yeah. Ma ogi walaal. I don't know. So if you're going to say I don't eat, ma cuni. Just add vowel I at the end. Start with the question word or negative word, ma. So ma cuni walaal. I don't eat. I don't drink. Can you guess now? Ma abi. Yeah. Can you guess now? Let's say use in Somali is adeegso or isticmaal. So I don't use, ma adeegsadi or ma isticmaali. So in Somali language, write is qor, read is aqri. So I don't read, ma aqri. I don't write, ma qori. Yeah, so sometimes we do like different, but it's fine. Usually it's vowel I at the end. Yeah, there should be exceptions, of course. Well, most of the time, ma and vowel I at the end. Ma ogi walaal, I don't know. If I'm going to ask you a question like, do you know? I'm going to say, ma og tahay. Og tahay. Ma og tahay. Because tahay always is you, like, se tahay. Ma fiican tahay. Yeah? So, do you know should be ma og tahay. Ma og tahay walaal. Do you know brother? Or do you know sister? Like that. I don't know. Ma ogi. Hey, like we use now this sentence. Hassan adiga ma og tahay. Hassan, do you know? Hassan adiga ma og tahay. What about Aisha? Do you know? Aisha ma og tahay. So you can maybe drop adiga because adiga is you, and we can just say Hassan ma og tahay. Like that. Yeah? Ha walaal, miiska wuu jabay. Miiska wuu jabay. Jabay is in the past. Yeah? Miiska wuu jabay. So ma i caawin kartaa? That's can you help me? Ma is question word. I is me, of course. Caawi is help. So we add this one na at the end because it was already caawi. You can also drop that na. Ma i caawi kartaa or ma i caawin kartaa. Both are correct. Ha walaal, sidee kuu caawiyaa? So this ku is making you. Sidee caawiyaa, like how I help. Sidee kuu caawiyaa, how do I help you? Then we use where in Somali, aaway. We also use intee, we also use xagee, we also use halkee, and we also use aaway to say where in Somali. So aaway we use for things, or maybe for people, which is not location. Also we use with location aaway, but halkee, xagee, intee, we use only for location. For example, you're going to say, where's the shop? Awid. You can say, halkee waaye dukaanka, xagee waaye dukaanka, intee waaye dukaanka. And awe is also useful for everything, location and people. Awe dukaanka. Yeah? But if you're going to say, where is Abdi? You can say awe Abdi, but you cannot say halkee waaye Abdi because Abdi is not location. Xagee waaye Abdi, or intee waaye Abdi, or halkee Abdi. You can't say that because halkee and xagee and intee is for only location. But awe you can use for everything. Especially we use for like the places which is not location. Awe Abdi, awe Yarhamo, like that. We can also say awe skulka, where's the school? Awe maqaayada. Yeah, that's also fine. But halkee waaye and xagee waaye and intee waaye, you cannot use that to people, right? Or maybe to things. It's only for location. All right, now before I go to the next section for this class, I'm going to read 2 times each one, so you can read with me to practice. Walaal, kursiga ma ii keeni kartaa? Walaal, kursiga ma ii keeni kartaa? Ha walaal, waa caadi. Ha walaal, waa caadi. Aad iyo aad ayaad u mahadsan tahay. Aad iyo aad ayaad u mahadsan tahay. Adiga ayaa mudan walaal. Adaa mudan walaal. Abdi, miiska maxaa ku dhacay? Abdi, miiska maxaa ku dhacay? Ma ogi walaal. Ma ogi walaal. Xasan, adiga ma og tahay? Xasan, adiga ma og tahay? Ha walaal, miiska wuu jabay. Ha walaal, miiska wuu jabay. Ma ii caawin kartaa? Ma ii caawin kartaa? Ha walaal, sidee kuu caawiyaa? Ha walaal, sidee kuu caawiyaa? Aaway dukaanka carruurta? Aaway dukaanka carruurta? Now we can go to the next section of our class, which is the second part of Baro, weerahan, learn these sentences, part 2. Maxaa kugu dhacay? So maxaa in Somali is what. Kugu dhacay, to you, happened to you. So maxaa kugu dhacay? So to answer that, you can just say maya, that's fine in Somali. Or you can just say caadi waaye, it's fine. Or you can say dhib malahan, no problem. Yeah, that's just fine. But in Somali language in general, we don't answer in full answer, like long answer. We just do always the shortened ways. Caadi waaye, maya, dhib malahan, waa fiicanahay, something like that. I'm good. You can just use all of that. Maxaa haysaa? Maxaa again is what. Haysaa is what are you doing, but it's literally means what are you having or what do you have now in your hand. So it doesn't mean that, it means what you're doing or what's new or what's update, something like that. Maxaa haysaa? For that, you can just say caadi waaye. You can just say wax ma jiraan, there's nothing. For this sentence we said waxaan qorayaa cashirkayga. Waxaan is I instead of aniga, you just use helping pronoun. Waxaan qorayaa, writing. Cab, drink, cabayaa, drinking. Cun, eat, cunayaa, eating. Okay, and qor, write, qorayaa, writing. Read in Somali is aqri, aqrinayaa, like that. Casharkayga is my lesson. So in Somali language we use sometimes waxaan and sometimes we use waan. Maybe you confuse that. It's just same. I mean, it's just easy. Waxaan is for when you go in to answer in a complete or descriptive answer. For example, you're going to explain things. You're going to say, I am writing my lesson. You're going to go with waxaan. Waxaan qoraya cashirkayga. If you're going to say, I am speaking Somali. Waxaan ku hadlaya Af Somali. That's descriptive or that's informational answer or maybe reply. So go with waan when you just reply in a short question. For example, I said to you, qurac ma cuntay? Just say waan cunay. I have or I eat. You don't need to say waxaan cunay. If I ask you maxaa cuntay, what did you eat? You have to go with waxaan. Waxaan cunay canjeero iyo shaax. Waxaan cunay rooti iyo ukun. Like that. So it's just that easy. Go waxaan when you're going to explain things. Go waan when you're going to answer in a short way. Or maybe you're going to reply my question or people's question. Yeah? So if I test you now, is it correct to say, and waxaan isticmaalayaa laptopkayga. Isticmaal means use. waxaan isticmaalayaa laptopkayga. Or is it correct? Waan isticmaalayaa. So if I ask you a question which is maxaa haysaa? You're using your laptop. You're going to say waxaan isticmaalayaa laptopkayga or waan isticmaalayaa laptopkayga. Which is correct? So waxaan isticmaalayaa laptopkayga is correct because I ask you a question which is maxaa haysaa? What about if I say you laptopkaaga ma isticmaalaysaa? Are you using your laptop? So that question is already mentioned what you're doing. So you just need short answer. Ha, or maybe waan isticmaalayaa. You don't need to explain what you're using since it's in the question. Yeah? So that's the differences waxaan and waan. So the next one is cashirkaaga ma qortay. Cashirkaaga, we already knew that. You lesson. Ma is question word. Qor is right. Qortay is the past. So cashirkaaga ma qortay. Ha waan qoray. No one would say that in real life Somali. Just ha or just waan qoray. Yeah? Or sometimes kids always say like that. The next one is biyo ma ii keeni kartaa. That's a question. People would always go with biyo ii keen. Maya waa mashquulsanahay. You don't need even to say both. Just say maya. Or just say waan mashquulsanahay. Mashquul in Somali, busy. Mashquulsanahay, I am busy. Are you busy? Start with the question word ma. Mashquulsan. Instead of hay, ta. Ma mashquulsan tahay. And the last one is haye dhib malahan. Or you can go with dhib maleh. That's no problem. Dhib malahan or dhib maleh. Okay, before we go to the last section of our class, which is the assignment or the task or waxqabad, let's read together this. I'm going to read with you 2 times so you practice. Maxaa kugu dhacay? Maxaa kugu dhacay? Maya. Maya caadi waaye. Maya caadi waaye. Maxaa haysaa? Maxaa haysaa? Waxaan qorayaa cashirkayga. Waxaan qorayaa cashirkayga. Cashirkaaga ma qortay? Cashirkaaga ma qortay? Haa, waan qoray. Haa, waan qoray. Biyo ma ii keeni kartaa? Biyo ma ii keeni kartaa? Maya waa mashquulsanahay. Maya waa mashquulsanahay. Haye dhib ma lahan. Haye dhib ma leh. And now we are in the last section of our class, waxqabad or activity or assignment. So make your own Somali sentences using can, isi, question word ma, jaban, fiican, maxaa. So you're going to make questions and answers you made your own self. So use your brain, use your own things, or use your own thoughts, because now you just learned how you can make questions, how you can make answers. So always go with the shortened answer. For example, can, you can just say Abdi, miski I can. Abdi, bring me the table. Then your short answer should be haye, like that. You see, you can make question, you can make order. Ma, you can make question like qor. Ma qortay cashirka? Did you write the lesson? Like ma qortay emailka? Ma qortay maybe, yeah, just like that. So jaban, you can make question. Fiican, you can make question. Maha, you can make question. And after you do your own sentences, you can just share with us on the public Somali Bro group on WhatsApp. Yeah. And always you can just check the group in the video description so you can get the link and you can join. So if you want to join, there will be if you try like to join the group, it will say request. I'm going to accept your request. And before I do that, I'm going to ask you some questions. So if the user is not answering those questions, I always give reject. So if you're serious and want to join the group, you have to answer maybe that question, and then I will accept you. Because this week, I think I almost give a reject more than 10 uses. And yeah, we're not going to accept fake uses, and that's what you need to know. In lesson 6, we learned useful sentences related to in the house part 1. And in this lesson, you will learn useful sentences related to in the house part 2, like mobilka dabka gali, laptopka dami, and so many others. ومعلنك af Somaliga, Abdirahman Abzi, and Bilono. I'm going to read all of them, and you can read with me so that you practice with me. Qabo, qabo, qabo. Kuleel, kuleel, kuleel. Qolka waa qabow, qolka waa qabow saa'id, qolka waa qabow saa'id, qolka waa qabow saa'id. Kee, tee, kee, tee, kee, tee. Kee jeceshahay Abdi ama Caaisha? Kee jeceshahay Abdi ama Caaisha? Kee jeceshahay Abdi ama Caaisha? Midkee, 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 midkee jeceshahay, midkee jeceshahay? Dab, dab. Jaajar, jaajar, jaajar. That's nice. So before you go to the next section of our class, I'm going to read again with giving you much detail or much explanation. So the first one is qabo. Qabo in Somali we say cold. So the ba is in Somali ba, but for this case we just do shorten ba. Like the ba is not ba, it's short like ba, more like very soft. Qabo, not qabo, 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 kind of soft ba, qabo, okay? The next is kuleel. Kuleel is hot. So if you're going to use in a sentence, you're going to go with kulul. Like if you're going to say the tea is hot. Shaaha wa kulul yahay. Or you can also say shaaha wa kuleel. Okay? If you're going to say the room is hot, you can say qolka wa kuleel. Or you can also say qolka wa kulul yahay. Yeah, for qabo, you can say maybe the water is cold. Biyaha waa qabow. Yeah, biyaha waa qabow. The room is cold. Qolka waa qabow. Okay, the next one is sa'id. Sa'id in Somali we add sometimes or usually at the end. Ah. So for Somali adjectives, you see usually we add at the end, and also you can skip that it's optional. So for example, if I'm going to say the room is very cold, so qolka waa qabow sa'id ah. Yeah, so you can skip or you can use it, it's fine. For this example we used qolka waa qabow sa'id. The room is very cold. Qolka waa qabow sa'id ah. Some people would go that, it's fine. Yeah. For example, we say subax wanaagsan, then subax lamid like that. So this we use in Somali so many times and in different ways. So for adjectives, you add at the end usually, but you can skip. The next one is ke or te. In Somali, we use ke or te to say which. So I can say ke waye, which one. If it's feminine noun, te waye, which one. So maybe you told me my sister is going to go to maybe Somalia next week. I'm going to say you, and I know you have so many sisters, so I'm going to say you te waye, Aisha miya, Rahma miya, Deqa miya, which one? Yeah. If it's boy, like ke waye. So that's we use ke and te. The next one is ke jeceshahay Abdi ama Caaisha. Like which do you like? Ke jeceshahay. And you can maybe use names, yeah, people names, things like that. I can also say you like ke jeceshahay canjeero iyo shaah, or ke jeceshahay bariis iyo basto. Same. The next one is midke. Mid is one. So if you learned or if you watched all the other lessons, we learned numbers from 1 to 19 so far. Number 1 in Somali, from 0 to 19. Number 1 in Somali was ko, also hal, also mid. So we said we use ko for counting, ko laba saddex afar shan for counting money, things, etc. And we also said we use hal to use with nouns like one boy, hal wiil, one girl, hal gabar, hal nin, hal iskol, hal ma'alin, etc. So we said mid we use when we're using one. Also when we're using this one, that one, which one, like that. So that's why now we're using mid care. Mid plus care, that makes care is which, mid is one. Mid care, yeah, which one? But we don't say mid care. Which one means mid care, like for any people, which one? You don't need to say feminine or masculine. It's both. Which one? Mid care. Okay, so the next one is dab. Dab in Somali we mean fire. Also it means electricity. So for some examples, we're going to use plug the phone in the charger like that. So we're going to use dab in Somali. Also dab is fire. So if you're going to say fireman, we say in Somali dab damiye. Dab dami means like someone to make the fire stop. So dab damiye, that's fireman. Yeah. The last one we have is jajar. Jajar is just phone charger. So I can say you mobile ka jajar ka geli, plug the phone in charger, yeah, on. So that's jajar, dab, and qabo, kuleel, sa'id, qolka wa qabo, ke, te, ke jeceshahay, midke jeceshahay, yeah. So always you need to try to make your own sentences from this, because all the lessons I'm giving you, I'm making the sentences for you, so you can try yourself and you can make your own sentences. Maybe you try to do that after each lesson, and you can always share with me on the Bara Somali public group. If it's not, maybe you're not good students. You are like kind of lazy, because now you have the tools, use and make your own sentences. That's the best way to practice the Somali, or maybe every language you're learning. All right, now let's go to the next section of our class, which is Baro Weerahan, learn these phrases. Now we're going to learn very useful phrases in the house, and we're going to start with the first one, Walal Mukayf Kadar. So I'm going to read for you first, and after that I'm going to explain. So now read with me. Walal Mukayf Kadar. Walal Mukayf Kadar. Walal Mukayf Kadar. Hay Walal. Hay Walal. Hay Walal. Hadda qolka qabow saa'id waaye. Ma damin kartaa mukayfka? Hadda qolka qabow saa'id waaye. Ma damin kartaa mukayfka? Hadda qolka qabow saa'id waaye. Ma damin kartaa mukayfka? Dhib ma leh walaal. Dhib ma lahan. Dhib ma leh walaal. Dhib ma lahan. Dhib ma leh walaal. Dhib ma lahan. Marwaxadda iyo mukayfka kee jeceshahay? 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 Waxaan jeclahay mukayfka. Waan jeclahay labadooda. Waxaan jeclahay mukayfka. Waan jeclahay labadooda. Waxaan jeclahay mukayfka. Waan jeclahay labadooda. Aaway diiqa. Aaway diiqa. Aaway diiqa. Wuxuu kor saaran yahay darbiga. Wuxuu kor saaran yahay darbiga. Wuxuu kor saaran yahay darbiga. All right, now let's explain each one in deep dive. So the first one is Walal Mukayf Kadar. So that means turn on the AC or air conditioner. So in Somali language, we go with dar for everything as electronics to turn on, or maybe even the phone. You can just say mobile kadar. It's like switch on, or you say power on, say in English. You know how the best one is. So dar we use to say turn on for every kind of electronic device. Mobile kadar, computer kadar, laptop kadar, qasalada dar, you know qasalada is, and also washing machine does. And also you can say, yeah, just everything. You can just say dar. And the opposite is demi. Demi is to turn off. You can also say switch off or demi. Mobile demi, computer demi, all those. Okay, so if this was real life Somali, you don't need even to say walal. Yeah, you just say go with mukif khadar. You always need to know in Somali language it's kind of some languages they don't have like more polite words. Like this is fine, it's not rude. You don't need to say always, can you do for me this? Can you do for me that? Please, please. You don't need to say that. You just need to say in Somali the order or the command. You can say just mukif khadar, mukif khadami. It's fine. It's not rude. People will not feel bad. So it's very good in Somali. So you don't need always to use long sentences. Short sentences, also short answers is the best in Somali. So I would say in real life Somali, mukif khadar, maybe with your name. Abdi, mukif khadar. And you just say me haye. Yeah, that's fine. The next one is hadda qolka qabow sa'id waaye madamin kartaa mukifka. Now we just practice in the Somali language. We don't always say these long sentences. So hadda is now. Qolka qabow sa'id waaye, the room is very cold. Ma we use as question word. Madamin kartaa. Kartaa is can you. Madamin kartaa mukifka. Yeah, can you turn off the AC? So you don't need even to ask this way. You can just say Abdi mukifka dami. Qolka qabow waaye, the room is cold, like that. Okay, the next one is dib maleh or dib malahan. So we use in Somali no problem, dib maleh or dib malahan. People always go with dib maleh as it's easy and shortened way instead of dib malahan. So you can just say dib maleh, dib malahan, dib maleh, same. Okay, the next one is marwaxada iyo mukifka kee jeceshahay. Marwaxad, some people say also muraxad, so it's fine in Somali. Marwaxada iyo mukifka kee jeceshahay. We just add in each noun with different article, and we learned all of those in one complete lesson. So you need maybe to check that lesson if you want to know, like, how do I say the fan or the AC? You just need to learn that lesson. Marwaxada iyo mukifka kee jeceshahay. Which one do you like? So waxaan jeclahay mukifka. Waxaan jeclahay mukifka. So that's when you're explaining. And in the other hand is waan jeclahay labadooda. I like both. So in Somali language, if someone asks you a question and the question needs from you only yes, no question, you always go with one. For example, marwaxada iyo mukifka kee jeceshahay, you're going to say I like one. So like waan jeclahay labadooda, waan jeclahay mukifka, waan jeclahay marwaxada. If you're going to explain much, you just need to go with waxaan. Waxaan jeclahay mukifka sababtoo ah mukifka waa qabow fiican, because the AC is very good, cold, like that. Yeah, so go with waxaan. If you're going to explain much, go with one very short answer. The next one is awe diqa. Awe in Somali we use where. So we just explained last lesson awe and halke and inte and hage. If you didn't watch that lesson, you just need to go and understand everything clearly. But for now, I can maybe give you a little explanation again. Awe we use to say where is for people, things, everything, location. Like awe macalinka, where's the teacher? Awe maqaayada, where's the restaurant? Awe hoyo, where's mom? Awe isbitaalka, where's the hospital? And halke, hage, inte, we use only for location. Yeah, we say inte waaye dugsiga or wa inte dugsiga. Halke waaye maqaayada or wa halke maqaayada. You cannot say halke waaye Abdi. That literally means where is Abdi? But Abdi is not location. Abdi is a person. So you should go with awe. Yeah. The next one is wuxuu kor saaran yahay derbiga. Wuxuu, because diq in Somali is a masculine noun. So wuxuu, if it was doro, hen, the feminine, you go with waxay. Waxay kor saaran tahay. Now it's wuxuu kor saaran yahay. Yeah. So when you're using in Somali language on, you just need to use saaran. If it's masculine, saaran yahay, and then feminine, saaran tahay. So people always go with kor before saaran. That's also fine. Kor in Somali means above. So you can say the book is on the table. Buugga wuxuu kor saaran yahay miiska. Or you can say buugga wuxuu saaran yahay miiska. It's fine. Kor saaran yahay, it's fine. You can skip that kor. Alright, I hope you can make your own sentences after this lesson for this part. And now let's go to the last section of our class, Barawerahan, So I'm going to read for you first, and after that, I'll give you explanation. Okay, read with me. Mobilka dabka gali. Mobilka jajarka gali. Mobilka dabka gali. Mobilka jajarka gali. Mobilkaaga Apple miya ama Android. Mobilkaaga Apple miya ama Android. Mobilkaaga Apple miya ama Android. Mobilkayga waa Apple. Mobilkayga waa Apple. Saacadda waa qaali. Saacadda waa raqiis. Saacadda waa qaali. Saacadda waa raqiis. Dhagahan waa cuseeb. Yaa leh dhagahan. Yaa iska leh dhagahan. Yaa leh dhagahan. Yaa iska leh dhagahan. Aniga ayaa leh. Anigaa leh. Aniga ayaa leh. Anigaa leh. Aniga ayaa leh. Anaa leh. Aniga ayaa leh. Anigaa leh. Anaa leh. Alright, the first one is mobilka dabka gali or mobilka jajarka gali. So in Somali language, as I mentioned earlier, dab, we use fire, also electricity. Also, now we're using as charger to charge the phone. Mobilka, the mobile, dabka, the fire or the charger, and jajarka, you can also use that, gali, to plug in, to put in. So mobilka dabka gali or mobilka jajarka gali. So they mean plug the phone in the charger, yeah. And mobilkaaga Apple miya ama Android. You can use this to compare, like asking questions, like or in Somali. You can also say Abdi miya ama Farah. Is it Abdi or Farah? You can also say laptopkaaga Microsoft miya ama Mac waaye, like that. You can just use your own sentences. Yeah, mobilkayga waa Apple. You can also say mobilkayga waa Samsung and so on. Just use my eiga at the end. We learned that one in the last lessons or in previous lessons. You always need to watch that if you didn't watch. The next one is Saada wa Qali. Qali in Somali is expensive. Also, it means a female name. So some girls called Qali. That means their name is expensive. So maybe they are expensive. Yeah. Okay. Qali in Somali is expensive. Also, Raqis is cheap. So you can say mobilkayga wa Qali, lakin mobilkaaga wa Raqis. My phone is expensive, but your phone is cheap. Yeah. Lakin in Somali we use but. That's also what we use in Arabic, so we use that, it's fine. The next one is dhagahan wa useb. Useb in Somali is new. New. Is it new? Do you say new or new? Maybe new. Okay. Dhagahaga wa useb. And you can also say maybe mobilkayga wa useb. You can also say maybe qalinkayga wa useb, bugayga wa useb, and so on. The next one is yaleh. Yaleh in Somali means who owns. Yeah. Yaleh. Some people go with ya iskaleh. Iskaleh. It's fine. You can skip iska, or you can add yaleh, ya iskaleh. So I can say you yaleh gurigan, who owns this house. Ya iskaleh gurigan, who owns this house. Yaleh mobilkan. Ya iskaleh mobilkan. Yaleh bugan. Ya iskaleh bugan, and so on. The last one is to answer for that question. You say I own, or I own it. Aniga ayaleh, or short. Aniga leh, or more short. Aniga plus a, make it short, make it very short. Ana. So ana leh, like that. And now we are in the last part of our class, which is always wahqabad, or activity or assignment. You're going to make your own Somali sentences using dar, demi, qabo, kulel, mobile. I hope you're going to make very good sentences and share with us on our Bro Somali WhatsApp group. And yeah, that's what you're going to do for today's class. In lesson 7, we learned useful sentences related to in the house part 2. And in this lesson, you will learn Somali verbs with present progressive or present continuous, like shaqayn, wan shaqaynaya, and so many others. ومعلنك أف صوماليغا عبد الرحمن أبزي عم بلونه فعلada أف صوماليغا كو شقين 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 لابو قر 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 سدح عيار 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 أفر داون فيرسن داون فيرسن شن عاون عاون. So now we're learning the verbs we're going to use in the present progressive or present continuous. The first one is شقين. شقين is to work. The second is قر. قر is to write. The third one is عيار. عيار is to play. Also, it means football match or something with sports. أفر, or number 4, داون or fiirsan. So daawan is to watch, fiirsan is to watch. Daawan is very useful in northern Somalia or waqooyiga Somalia. Fiirsan is very useful in southern Somalia or koonfurta Somalia. So for example, waxaan daawanayaa ciyaar. I am watching a football match. Or waxaan fiirsanayaa ciyaar. That's the same. And the last one is caawin. Caawin is to help. So now we're going to learn the most useful thing in Somali language if you're going to use a Somali verb in a sentence, and that is Somali pronouns and helping pronouns. So this table shows us Kelly singular nouns and then Wadar plural nouns. So these are the Somali pronouns and helping pronouns. In Somali language, we usually use the helping pronouns instead of the pronouns. And basically, we use the pronouns as object nouns. For example, aniga is I, then the helping pronoun is whether, waxaan, on, waan, depends on that sentence. And more of that I'll explain later. And so we use aniga also as an object. For example, someone is knocking the door, knock, 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 and you'll say, ya waaye or wa ayo, depending on your dialect. Then the person would say, aniga waaye or wa aniga. That means it's me. So as object, we use aniga, adiga, asiga, iyada, all of the Somali pronouns. And then when you're going to use in a sentence, you have to use the helping pronouns. So if you don't know that, you will struggle in Somali language. So you have to learn the helping pronouns with 2 ways. Waxaan, waan, waxaad, waad. Yeah, that's the main important. So now let's read together. Aniga, waxaan, waan. Aniga, waxaan, waan. Aniga, waxaan, waan. Adiga, waxaad, waad. Adiga, waxaad, waad. Asiga, wuxuu, wuu. Asiga, wuxuu, wuu. Asiga, wuxuu, wuu. Iyada, waxay, way. Iyada, waxay, way. Iyada, waxay, way. Annaga, waxaan, waan. Annaga, waxaan, waan. Annaga, waxaan, waan. Idinka, waxaad, waad. Idinka, waxaad, waad, idinka, waxaad, waad, iyaga, waxay, way, iyaga, waxay, way, iyaga, waxay, way. All right, so aniga is I in Somali. We also use as an object, so we also mean me. And then waxaan and waan. Waxaan we use when we're going to make a complete sentence. For example, you're going to say, maybe I am helping mom. So you're going to say, waxaan caawinayaa hooyo. And then when you're going to use waan we only use when we making a short answer or when we only answering a question, which is already asking to someone else. So for example, someone says to you, hooyo maad caawinaysaa? Are you helping mom? So you're going to say only ha, or you can say waan caawinayaa. So that's the only time you have to use waan or waad, wuxuu, way, waan, waad, and way. And no worries at all, because we will have so many sentences to understand all of that. Now, what I need from you is to take a note, writing the singular helping pronouns and plural helping pronouns with also they helping pronouns, so that you'll be enjoying the sentences we're gonna make. All right, now this section is very useful because we have to learn the ending ing in English as a Somali language. So basically in English, you say, I am watching, like I am watching, we are eating, we are playing, they are sleeping. Like ing, you add every time when you're going to use a progressive verb in English. So for that, in Somali, we use different endings. And these are what we have to learn. So the ending of I and he sentence should be aya. The ending of you and she is asa. The ending ing of we sentence is aina. The ending of the sentence they in Somali is asin. And the ending of you plural is ayan. Okay, tusale, for example, I am watching in English. In Somali, it should be waan fiirsanaya or waan daawanaya. If you can see, fiirsan or daawan is the verb, which is watch. And the ending of ing, which is red color in Somali, is aya, only when it's I. So if someone is asking you, are you watching? It should be ma fiirsanaysaa or ma daawanaysaa, because the sentence is you. It's not am I watching? It's are you watching? So that's why it's ma fiirsanaysaa, ma daawanaysaa. So the same thing, we can use this sentence for the all pronouns in Somali. Now is I am watching. What about he is watching? So he and I goes with same ending. Asa, aya at the end. So he's watching. I'm going to say one instead. That's I. If you remember, the helping pronoun of he was woo. So we're going to say woo fiirsanaya or woo daawanaya. So are you watching? We're going to change is he watching? So instead of ma fiirsanaysaa, that's are you watching? Now it's is he watching? So we're going to say ma, then fiirsanaya, because aya, it was for I and he. But ma fiirsanaysaa or ma daawanaysaa, we say asa because of the ending of you, which is asa. So is he watching? Ma fiirsanaya or ma daawanaya. And if you're wondering what's this ma is question word. And in Northern Somalia, they might say mu, like mu fiirsanaya, mu daawanaya. It's probably the same. And so that ma is question word. And now let's say you. So instead of I am watching, let's say you are watching. We're going to say wad instead of one. And then asa then because of you. You and she, then it would be asa. So wat fiirsanaysaa or wat daawanaysaa. And if it's he, and if it's she's watching, way instead of one, way fiirsanaysaa. way daawanaysaa. For the question, are you watching? That's already what we have here. Ma fiirsanaysaa? Ma daawanaysaa? And is she watching? We're going to say ma fiirsanaysaa or ma daawanaysaa. Or we can say may fiirsanaysaa or may daawanaysaa. But usually if it's a person, we just mention the name. Aasho may fiirsanaysaa or Aasho ma fiirsanaysaa TV-ga. Something like that. And we can also do with we. We are watching. We're going to say waan fiirsanaynaa because of the ending of we is aynaa. Waan fiirsanaynaa or waan daawanaynaa. And so they is ayaan and you plural is aysiin. So we're going to say you are watching waad fiirsanaysiin or waad daawanaysiin. So I'll repeat for you all that part again. So I and he, the ending is ayaa. So I'm watching, waan fiirsanayaa. He is watching, wuu fiirsanayaa. And then you and she is aysaa. So I'm going to say you are watching, waad fiirsanaysaa or waad daawanaysaa. She is watching, way fiirsanaysaa or way daawanaysaa. We is aynaa. So we are watching, waan fiirsanaynaa, and then waan daawanaynaa. And then they is ayaan. So they are watching, way fiirsanayaan. And then you plural is aysiin. So we can say you are watching, waad fiirsanaysiin or waad daawanaysiin. So that is the main part for the class. This ending ing in Somali and also the helping pronoun and pronouns. If you understand that very well, then we can go to the next section of our class. Cool. Now we go to next section of our class, which is tusaale shaqayn. We're going to use the verb shaqayn to work in a sentence. So we're going to try to make all the helping pronouns and pronouns I, we, you, they, he, she. So the first sentence probably would be I. So I will try to change all of them and you can also try. Because now we know all the pronouns, helping pronouns, the ending ing, and we have the verb. So let's just keep doing and keep going. So let's start. The first one is waan shaqaynayaa. That's I'm working. So let's also use you are working, he is working, she is working, we are working, and they are working. Okay, so the first sentence we have got is waan shaqaynayaa. And let's try you are working. So we can say waad shaqaynaysaa. Because waan is for I. And if you remember, waad is for you. And ayaa at the ending was I. You is aysaa. So waad shaqaynaysaa. Then he is, the helping pronoun is wuu. And then ayaa at the end, same as I. So wuu shaqaynayaa. So he's working, wuu shaqaynayaa. Then she, the ending was aysaa, if you remember. And at the beginning is way. So way shaqaynaysaa. Then we, at the end was ing ending was aynaa. And the beginning is waan, same as I. So waan shaqaynaynaa. And they was ayaan at the ending. And at the beginning is way. So we can say way shaqaynayaan. So the next example we have got is waxaan ka shaqaynayaa iskoolka. I'm working at the school. So waxaan ka shaqaynayaa iskoolka. So I can also make you, we, they, he, she, and all of the Somali helping pronouns or pronouns. So let me try with he. Instead of waxaan, it will be wuxuu, if you remember. So wuxuu ka shaqaynayaa iskoolka. The ending was I and she was same. Wuxuu ka shaqaynayaa iskoolka. He's working at the school. And then the next I can try is you. So you and she are same ending, aysaa. But the beginning is different. For you is waxaad. Instead of na is that. So waxaad ka shaqaynaysaa iskoolka. That's you're working at the school. And then she, waxay. Waxay ka shaqaynaysaa iskoolka. And then we is waxaan at the beginning and aynaa at the end. So waxaan ka shaqaynaynaa iskoolka. We're working at the school. And then they at the ending is ayaan. And the beginning was waxay. So waxay ka shaqaynayaan iskoolka. And then we also missing you plural. You plural at the beginning was waxaad. And then aysiin is at the end. So waxaad ka shaqaynaysiin iskoolka. All right. I hope you can also do every sentence we will mention in the next sentences because that's all you need. You just need to change at the ending and at the beginning. And that's how you can make the sentence. So the next is making question form. So to make question form, you need to use question words. The first one is ma. The second one is maad. So You can say, are you working? Ma shaqaynaysaa? This is very useful in Southern, here in Mogadishu, where we live. And maad shaqaynaysaa? That's very useful in Northern, Waqooyi Soomaaliga. Okay? So, ma shaqaynaysaa? Or you can say, maad shaqaynaysaa? So what about, is Abdi working? Just use Abdi first, and then at the end was ayaa. Abdi ma shaqaynaya? Or you can say, Abdi mu shaqaynaya? And then what about Aisha? Is Aisha working? So Isa at the end. So Aisha ma shaqaynaysaa? Or Aisha may shaqaynaysaa? Same thing. So the next sentence is, are you working at the school? That's like complete question. The first one was just, are you working? That's why we just use ma. So the first sentence was just short question, are you working? But now this sentence is complete question. But this is not useful in Somali. In Somali language, we always go with the shortest sentences. But we have to learn anyways. Are you working at the school? This is long question. So it's always recommended in Somali language to start with the noun first. Do not try to start with the question word. That would be confusion. Because the first sentence we start question word because there's no noun here. It's just, are you working? So that's ma shaqaynaysaa or maad shaqaynaysaa. But now we have object. Are you working at the school? So start with the noun first in Somali language. This is what we did. Skolka, then question word, ma or mad. That you can skip. Also, wahan, you can just say waha. Wahad, you can just say waha. If you see in Somali language, sometimes people say, oh, this is very fast. We can't even understand what they're talking about. That's because we do shorten ways. Like wahan, we say waha. And wad, we say wa. Wan, we say wa. So we skip that last letter. That's fine. So, skolka ma ka shaqaynaysaa? Or, next question word you can use is miad. Or you can also drop that da. Skolka miyaa ka shaqaynaysaa? Same thing. You can go with which one of them. If you prefer the Southern, say skolka ma ka shaqaynaysaa. The Northern, skolka miyaad ka shaqaynaysaa. But anyways, people will always understand you. No worries, because it's just same Somali. So that's skolka ma ka shaqaynaysaa. Then the next is for answering or for replying that question in Somali. You have to always understand in Somali language, it's always useful like the shortened ways, the shortened replies. Maybe in English, you might think, oh, I have to say, yes, I'm working at this school. The work is very good. That's not in Somali language. Let's know. In Somali language, we just say the shortest answers. It's not rude. It's fine. You can just say, ha. You can just say, maya. You can just say, haye. You can just say, idip. You can just say, isi. That's already recommended in Somali. So you don't have to worry about answering a complete sentence. So for now, the question was, are you working? Ma shaqaynaysaa? For answer, I now gave you long form of answer, but you don't have to use this in real life Somali. Otherwise, it will be funny to other people. So the complete answer is, yes, I'm working. Ha waan shaqaynayaa. But you don't have to use all of it. You can just say only waan shaqaynayaa without mentioning ha or only saying ha. So if I say you, ma shaqaynaysaa, you can just say me ha. Or you can just say me waan shaqaynayaa, like that. So the next sentence was a complete question. Are you working at the school? Skolka ma ka shaqaynaysaa? So you would just say ha only, or you just say waan ka shaqaynayaa only. You say, but you don't have to say ha waxaan ka shaqaynayaa skolka. This is very useful to say ha. And then if you're going to say negative answer like no, I'm not working. Again, it's recommended to just say only one of the shortest answers. Only maya or ma shaqaynaayi. So you don't have to say maya ma shaqaynaayi. Just say maya or ma shaqaynaayi. So yeah, now let me read all of them and you can read with me and then we go to the next section for class. Waan shaqaynayaa. Waan shaqaynayaa. Waxaan ka shaqaynayaa iskoolka. Waxaan ka shaqaynayaa iskoolka. Ma shaqaynaysaa? Ma shaqaynaysaa? Iskoolka ma ka shaqaynaysaa? Iskoolka ma ka shaqaynaysaa? Ha, waan shaqaynayaa. Ha, waan shaqaynayaa. But always it's recommended to only say ha or waan shaqaynayaa. Not recommended in real life ha waan shaqaynayaa together. Next. Ha, waxaan ka shaqeynayaa iskoolka. Ha, waxaan ka shaqeynayaa iskoolka. Maya, ma shaqeynaye. Maya, ma shaqeynaye. So that vowel I we add always when it's negative. Ma shaqeynaye. Like ma cabaye, I'm not drinking. Ma cunaye, I'm not eating. Ma isticmaalaye, I'm not using. Ma daawanaye, I'm not watching. Yeah, that's very useful. And now let's go to the next section, which is tusale qor. Again, another example, which is qor, to write. We're just going to do the same thing as we did in the previous part, but it's just different verb. So for now, you are going to take part the main role. So I'm going to mention only the sentence we have here. So you will have your notebook and write the other sentences, you, he, she, they, and you. And then you can share with us on our WhatsApp, Poro Somali private group. If you're not in the WhatsApp already, so you can just check this video description and find out, join our private public Somali group somewhere in our description on YouTube. And then click that and then request, and I will approve your request if I ask you the questions and you reply me very well. Yeah. All right. Waan qorayaa. Waan qorayaa, that's I'm writing, because qor is to write, ayaa is for I, if you remember, and waan is for I also, as helping pronoun, which is for the short sentences. Waan qorayaa. The next is waxaan. So before I go to the next, you have to write down the other ways, like you are writing, he is writing, and she's writing, we are writing, they are writing, and you are writing for the plural noun in each sentence, please. Because in the previous, I explained everything and what you're going to do. So now it's your turn. Don't forget. Okay. Hilmaamin, hayloobin. Don't forget. Next is, waxaan qorayaa sheeko Somali. I'm writing a Somali story. So waxaan qorayaa sheeko Somali. Why we use this sentence waxaan and why we use that sentence waan? The answer is very easy, because the first sentence was very short. It's just, I'm writing. There's no extra thing at the end of that verb. But this one, after the verb, there's explanation, what we're writing or what we're doing after that. That's when we have to use waxaan, waxaad, waxay, wuxuu. And the shortened helping pronouns you have to use when the sentence is without object or without something at the end of the verb. Like I'm writing, I'm eating, I'm playing, I'm helping, I'm watching. That's when we have to use waan, waad, way, woo. I think now you got it, everything in the correct way. So waxaan qorayaa sheeko Somali. I'm writing a Somali story. Qor, the verb, ayaa is for I ending, and waxaan is for the beginning of I. Waxaan and waan. So waxaan qorayaa sheeko Somali. You'll also have to do, you are writing Somali story, he, she, they, you, all of them, we. So the next is question. When you're asking someone a question, are you writing? So this would be, the helping pronoun would be the shortened helping pronoun. It's because this question is only shortened. Are you writing? We're not saying, are you writing a Somali story? We're just saying, are you writing? So that would be ma qoreysaa or maad qoreysaa. So you can also make two sentences like attached to this, like, is he writing or is she writing? Like, is Aisha writing and is Abdi writing? That's maybe the most useful sentences. So the next is sheeko Somali maad qoreysaa, because we use now okay, the next is complete question. Are you writing a Somali story? That would be sheeko Somali maad qoreysaa. So you have to start the sentence, the noun. That's very useful in Somali. If you start the question word like maad qoreysaa sheeko Somali, that's okay, but as a Somali person, we always think the noun is first. So that's why sometimes people will confuse you talk, because it's weird. So you have to start with the noun. Sheeko Somali ma qoreysaa or sheeko Somali miyaad qoreysaa. The next is, ha waxaan qorayaa sheeko Somali. So yes, I'm writing a Somali story. This is a long answer. Please do not say that in real life Somali. Just use shortened ways. Waan qoraya. Ha. That's very useful. For negative, no, I'm not writing. You can just say maya makorai, but don't say that together. Maybe makorai, maybe maya. Yeah, that's very helpful, I think. Yeah. And then I'm going to go to the next section, the next verb. But please don't forget to write all those sentences and note, then maybe take a picture or maybe write on Google document, then share with us and see your work. Waayahay, now we go to the next section. And before that, don't forget to write your notes. So let's go to the next section, which is tusale, ciyaar, to play. The first sentence is waan ciyaaraya. That's I'm playing. So you're going to also do you, he, she, we, they, and you plural. So waan ciyaaraya, we said, is because ciyaar is the verb. Aya is ending ing in Somali for I, and waan is helping pronoun for I, especially the shortened helping pronoun. The long was waxaan. Waan is for short sentences without something at the end in the verb, like I'm playing, nothing at the end. And waxaan is for sentences which is long, basically a complete sentence. So waxaan ciyaaraya banoni or waxaan ciyaaraya kubad. Banoni or kubad are football in Somali means, and then banoni is useful in southern Somalia, comfort Somalia. Kubad is very useful in northern Somalia, waqooyi Somalia. Okay, so for question, you just need question word ma or maad, depending on the Somali comfort or waqooyi. So ma ciyaaraysaa or maad ciyaaraysaa. And then you can also make a complete sentence. Banoni ma ciyaaraysaa or kubad miyaad ciyaaraysaa. For answer, ha waan ciyaaraya. You can also say ha, or you can only say waan ciyaaraya. For complete answer, ha waxaan ciyaaraya banoni, or ha waxaan ciyaaraya kubad. But that's not helpful. You already know that. So you just say ha only. Or just say waan ciyaaraya. For negative answer, vowel I is very useful at the end of the verb. So maya ma ciyaaray. Just say maya or just say ma ciyaaray. Cool. So now let me read for you all of them and read with me so that you practice pronunciation. Waan ciyaaraya. Waan ciyaaraya. Waxaan ciyaarayaa banoni. Waxaan ciyaarayaa kubad. Ma ciyaaraysaa? Maad ciyaaraysaa? Ha, waan ciyaarayaa. Ha. Ha, waxaan ciyaarayaa kubad. Ha, waxaan ciyaarayaa banoni. Maya, ma ciyaarayi. Maya, ma ciyaarayi. Cool. Let's go to the next verb, which is tusale, fiirsan, or daawan, which is to watch. So, waan fiirsanayaa or waan daawanayaa. Again, daawan is very useful in waqooyiga Soomaaliga, northern Somalia, and fiirsan is very useful in southern Somalia. This is very useful for me. We always say waan fiirsanayaa. But waan daawanaya, we also know that. So basically it's the same. Waan fiirsanayaa or waan daawanaya. Then you also don't forget to make the other sentences. You, he, she, they, we, all of them. So waan fiirsanayaa, and then waxaan fiirsanayaa or waxaan daawanaya TV-ga. So if I ask you a question right now, you're going to comment why we said waan fiirsanayaa and waan daawanaya, and why we said waxaan fiirsanayaa or waxaan daawanaya TV-ga. So my question is, can I say waxaan fiirsanayaa, waxaan daawanaya when I mean only I'm watching? So that's the question. Go to the comment section and express me or explain me why I said waan fiirsanayaa and waan daawanaya. Instead, why not I say waxaan fiirsanayaa or waxaan daawanaya, and I only mean I'm watching. I'm not mean like I'm watching a TV. I just mean I'm watching. The first sentence is waan fiirsanayaa and waan daawanaya. So why I said waan fiirsanayaa instead of waxaan fiirsanayaa? Go to the comment section right now, post the video and comment. Ma'alin, this is the reason, and I'll be very happy for sure. Yeah. So do it now, and then you can post now. Yeah. So yeah, I hope you write that comment section, and I will check that for you, inshallah. The next section is waxaan fiirsanaya or waxaan daawanaya TV-ga. That's complete sentence. So you're also going to do that. He's watching the TV, she, we, you, they. For question, we need to use question word ma or mad. So, ma fiirsanaysaa TV-ga or ma daawanaysaa TV-ga? Or for short question, are you just watching or are you watching? Ma fiirsanaysaa? Ma daawanaysaa? And then for answer, short answer, yes, I'm watching. How aan fiirsanaya? How aan daawanaya? Just ha. Then for complete answer, how aan fiirsanaya TV-ga or how waxaan fiirsanaya TV-ga. That's also very useful to only say ha. For negative is I'm not watching, so ma fiirsanay or ma daawanay. Very good, mashallah. Now we are in the last section of our class, which is waxqabad, assignment. So now you learned most useful thing in Somali, which is the present progressive. So we just learned four verbs. And then this is your exercise to do for today. Number ko is waan caawinaya. Number 2 is waxaan caawinayaa hooyo. Number 3, ma caawinaysaa. Number 4, ma caawinaysaa hooyo. So you're going to use waan caawinaya. So you're going to use you, we, they, he, she, all of them. So waan caawinaya, and then you make all the other pronouns. And always make sure the beginning, the end in ing. So that's what we learned so far. You can just go back to the video and take a note if you didn't do that. And it's very bad to not note anything because you're learning a new language. Labo, waxaan caawinayaa hooyo. This is a complete sentence. You're going to also make, this is I am helping mom. So you, we, they, he, she. And for question, ma caawinaysaa, this is are you helping mom? So we can make, is he helping mom? Is she? Are we helping mom? Are they? All of them. And then, ma caawinaysaa hooyo. This is the complete sentence, and that was the shortened. So yeah, and I hope the lesson was very big because the things we're learning today is very valuable. And this is a part of my live Somali classes or my online paid courses for free here on the internet, on YouTube. So yeah, and I hope you're going to do this test and upload on the WhatsApp. And again, I'm mentioning if you're not on the WhatsApp group, which is public. What's public? That's why in Somali language, we don't have P. So sorry about that. The public Boro Somali group, and you can check the video description and join today. So thank you very much for watching this video. Please like the video so that YouTube will force this video to reach more people who are interested in learning Somali language, and I'll be very happy. And also, if you like these kind of Somali lessons, just subscribe to the channel. And also, if you are on TikTok, I'm also on TikTok. So we'll be very happy if we can reach 100k followers. Now we have like 60 something K followers. So we are nearly reach like 100k followers. So you can also check there because I upload 3 Somali videos weekly on TikTok. That will be helpful as well. So mahadsanid. Waxaan idin rajeynayaa khayr iyo caafimaad. Nabadgelyo.